The corridors of power at the Edet House in Abuja are currently experiencing what can only be described as a seismic shift, a dramatic reversal of fortunes that sounds like it was pulled straight out of a political thriller movie. The Nigeria police force has just witnessed one of the most astonishing transitions in its recent history, and at the absolute center of this unprecedented drama is the newly appointed Acting Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu. For months, the internal politics of the police force had been a boiling cauldron of tension, secret maneuvers, and high-stakes power plays, culminating in a situation where Disu was effectively being pushed toward the exit door by powerful figures within the establishment. The most prominent among these figures was reportedly a highly influential female officer, Assistant Commissioner of Police Bukola Kuti, who served as the principal staff officer to the now former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. According to widespread reports and investigative exposés that rocked the nation earlier this year, there was a concerted, calculated effort from the highest echelons of the previous police leadership to ensure that Disu was quietly retired. The bad blood allegedly stemmed from a massive financial scandal involving a 100 million naira security vote from Anambra State, which was controversially traced to the bank account of Victor Egbetokun, the son of the former police chief. When this scandal leaked to the press, sparking national outrage and giving ammunition to activists and critics, the inner circle of the former Inspector General reportedly suspected that the leak originated from Disu's camp. In retaliation, powerful aides, allegedly led by the highly influential female principal staff officer, began actively pushing for Disu's immediate retirement to neutralize him before he could ever ascend to the pinnacle of the police hierarchy. Disu, who was serving as an Assistant Inspector General of Police overseeing the Force Criminal Investigation Department Annex in Alagbon, Lagos, was already scheduled to reach the mandatory retirement age of 60 years in April of 2026. It seemed that his adversaries had successfully plotted his quiet exit, forcing him to pack his bags and gracefully bow out after over 3 decades of meritorious service to the nation. However, in a spectacular twist of fate that absolutely nobody saw coming, the tide turned in the most dramatic fashion possible. Instead of Olatunji Disu going home to a quiet retirement, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a sudden, decisive executive move that completely upended the power dynamics within the police force. On a quiet Monday evening, the 23rd of February 2026, President Tinubu was reportedly summoned the embattled Inspector General, Kayode Egbetokun, to the presidential villa and handed him a directive that shocked the nation. He was told to immediately prepare his handover notes and step down from his position. By Wednesday, the 25th of February, President Tinubu was standing in his office at the State House, pinning the prestigious rank of Acting Inspector General of Police on the uniform of the very man they had tried to push out, Olatunji Disu. The irony of the situation is incredibly profound. Disu's first bold, unspoken move upon assuming office was the absolute dismantling of the power structure that had tried to bury his career. By simply walking into the force headquarters as the new boss, he effectively sent packing the very people who had orchestrated his downfall, including the powerful female officer who had allegedly spearheaded the campaign for his premature exit. With Egbetokun out of the picture, forced to hand in a resignation letter citing pressing family issues to save face, the entire cabal that held sway over the police force has been entirely neutralized. Disu went from being a target of internal victimization to becoming the ultimate authority figure, backed by the full weight of the Nigerian presidency and the amended Police Act, which now grants him the potential to serve a full 4-year tenure until 2030, completely bypassing his original April retirement date. As we dive deeper into the astonishing details of how a man who was quietly preparing for retirement suddenly became the most powerful law enforcement officer in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I want to quickly remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this deep dive into our national security affairs. Turning on your notification bell ensures you never miss out on these exclusive behind-the-scenes breakdowns of the real power plays happening in our country, and your support helps us continue to bring you the factual, unfiltered truth. When President Tinubu decorated him at the State House, surrounded by top government officials including the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu and the Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, the president made it abundantly clear why Disu was chosen.
The president recalled Disu's stellar track record, particularly his time as the commander of the Rapid Response Squad in Lagos State, where he completely rebranded the unit, earning them the nickname of the Good Guys and winning the Best Anti-Crime Squad Award in West Africa. Disu is not just a regular police officer, he is a highly educated and tactically proficient leader with a bachelor's degree in English education and 2 master's degrees, including one in criminology, security, and legal psychology. He is an officer who has undergone specialized international training in internet fraud at the University of Cambridge and small arms smuggling in Botswana. He famously took over the intelligence response team in 2021 to clean up the mess left behind after the suspension of Abba Kyari, bringing a calm, disciplined, and highly professional approach to intelligence gathering and high-profile criminal investigations. Beyond his intellectual and tactical policing capabilities, Disu is also a highly disciplined athlete, holding a 3rd Dan black belt in judo and having won a silver medal at the United States Open Judo Championship. This is a man whose entire career has been built on discipline, operational depth, and a quiet but highly effective leadership style, making him the exact antithesis of the loud, controversial, and scandal-prone administration he just replaced. When Disu spoke to the press shortly after his unexpected elevation, the emotion in his voice was palpable. He admitted that the appointment took him completely off guard, bringing him almost to tears as the president recounted his career successes. He described feeling like a tiger ready to chase away criminals and a lion ready to devour the internal enemies of the nation. In his very first address, he sent a clear, uncompromising message to the rank and file of the police force. The era of impunity is officially over. He declared that the citizens of the country are the true bosses and that no police force can ever succeed without the genuine cooperation and trust of the public. This statement alone was a massive departure from the previous regime, which spent its final months treating citizens, activists, and journalists as enemies of the state. Disu's ascension, however, does come with massive institutional ripples. According to the deeply entrenched traditions of the uniformed services, the appointment of a junior officer to the top position means that several of his seniors must bow out. This means that a significant number of Deputy Inspectors General of Police and Senior Assistant Inspectors General will be forced into immediate retirement to pave the way for Disu's new administration. While some critics argue that this mass exodus of senior officers leads to a loss of institutional memory, many security experts believe that this clean sweep is exactly what the Nigeria police force desperately needs right now. The force needs a total reset, a complete break from the cabals, the favoritism, and the toxic politics that had paralyzed its operational efficiency. As Disu steps into the Edet House, the woman who wanted him out, along with the entire network of aides that operated with absolute impunity under the previous Inspector General, have instantly lost their power. They are now at the mercy of the very man they tried to destroy. The tables have not just turned, they have been completely flipped over and smashed to pieces. Disu's first bold move wasn't a loud press conference or a vindictive witch hunt. His first bold move was simply surviving the internal political assassination attempt, standing tall, and taking the oath of office as the 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police. He now faces the monumental task of securing a deeply challenged nation, battling the relentless waves of banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping, all while preparing the security architecture for the highly anticipated 2027 general elections. The expectations riding on his shoulders are incredibly high, but if his history of quiet competence, tactical brilliance, and sheer resilience is anything to go by, Olatunji Disu is more than ready for the challenge. He has already won the biggest battle of his career by outlasting his powerful detractors, proving once again that in the corridors of power, no one's position is ever truly permanent, and the very person you try to push out today might just become your ultimate boss tomorrow.